When we say Quan Yashal, you want to know what that means? We say rise to the so-called blacks, Latinos, Native Americans. You know why? Because right now we laying down. When I walk outside, I see my people dying. I see my people afraid. I see my people getting used and abused. And you know what? We not standing up. We not fighting back. That's why we say Quan Yashal, let's rise to the nation of Israel. We live in a hell. I'm talking about Babylon, America, the place everybody loves. This wicked place called America. How long is it going to take my people to wake up and realize that America, this is not the place to be? That we should have our own home to go to. It says America, home of the free, land of the brave. Ain't nobody brave in America. I don't see my people brave. I don't see my people standing up against oppression. And we not free. We slaves. Working 9 to 5s. We slaves. But our people love it. Give me Deuteronomy. Chapter 28, verse 15. Let me show my people where we at right now. See, we used to have a land to call our own, where we really were free. Now no more. But the Most High God, He told us that we was going to be put in a land that wasn't our own as slaves because we wasn't going to end up following His laws, statutes, and commandments. Go ahead.
Deuteronomy 28, verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe, to do all His commandments and His statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee.
You see, we living in a cursed condition here in America. Los Angeles, where the air is polluted, streets are dirty, people walking around high off life, high off drugs, drunk, drinking who knows what, police brutality, sirens up and down the streets every 5 minutes. We living in a cursed condition right now. But why is that? Read that again.
But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of thy Lord thy God.
You see, God said, it's going to come to pass. If you don't listen to what I got to tell you, go ahead.
To observe, to do all His commandments and His statutes which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
See, it's a simple solution. He said, I'm going to curse you Negroes and Latinos if you don't listen to my laws, statutes, commandments. You know the same thing our people love to not do today? You tell our people, hey, eating shrimp, pork, crab, lobster, that's all against God's laws. What they say? Oh, brother, we all fall short of the grace of God. We not perfect. That's the same thing our hard-headed brothers and sisters were saying back in the day, which got us in these cursed conditions right now. See, it's time to make a change. It's time to take a stand. I don't want to see my people living down and out like this for the rest of my life. I'm only 20. I don't want to go another 20 years seeing this. But guess what? To our people, when it stop being hard-headed, that's what it's going to be. So I come out here to pose a question. I ask my people, fellow citizens of the United States of America, what do you think is going to happen to America? Just heading in the direction that it is right now. I mean, you got fornication that's published throughout all of America on a broad scale, homosexuality. They even about to make laws for pedophiles, saying that it's not wrong, that they're just sick in their heads, so it's not going to be a crime no more. Where do you think the direction of this state is headed? It can only go one place, and that's down. Our people worried about money so much that they blinded by the reality that America is a ticking time bomb. This place is just waiting to explode. I mean, you have division on all levels. You got division within the government, and then you got division within the people living in that country. How is that going to work? Give me Isaiah 24 and 5. See, right now we in a state where it says that the whole earth is defiled. You got that? Go ahead.
Isaiah 24 and 5. The earth also is defiled under the inhabitants thereof.
So it says the earth is defiled under the inhabitants thereof. I mean, you got people smoking. You got all the fumes from cigarettes up in the air. All these things that's getting burned through the cars. All these fuels. I mean, our world is just polluted. Not to mention the things that this white man is putting in the air. You You research chemtrails, he's spraying things up in the air. You look at the planes, you got them streaks going across the skies. That's killing you slowly. Not to mention the food that's in our stores are polluted. Not to mention our soil's polluted. Not to mention our water is polluted. But go ahead.
Because they have transgressed the law, changed the ordinance, broken the everlasting covenant.
You see, we've broken the everlasting covenant. And that goes back to the Most High God's laws, statutes, and commandments. We were never to depart from that. But our people, we don't care about that today. You can't even reason with Christians using the Bible. You try to bring it out and say, oh brother, you're getting too deep. Why are you trying to get so deep? When the Bible is something we should be talking about on a day-to-day basis. Not our people though. We'd rather talk about what's hot in the streets, what music coming out, Kendrick Lamar's new album. Is it tight? Is it boof? That's what we like to talk about. Instead of worrying about real situations that's on our hands. How are we going to get our people out of hell? How are we going to get our own land? People talk about economy. We got to boost our economics. One of the main things you need is land. We don't have land. And then the land that we do purchase here, we get taxed on. So we don't have no land for ourselves. Give me 2 Corinthians 11 and 13. Go ahead.
2 Corinthians 11 verse 13. For such are false apostles, deceitful workers, transforming themselves into apostles of Christ.
See, we the real prophets of the Most High God. We gonna come out here and tell you how it is. That you gotta get right. You gotta return to the God's law, statutes, and commandments. But you got other people, your preachers, people like Jesse Jackson, Al Sharpton, when they standing side by side, hand in hand with our enemy. The same people who's keeping us here oppressed. And it said that they did what?
Deceitful works, transforming themselves into apostles of Christ.
See, they're deceitful workers. Yet they say that they're Christian, and our people look up to that. So now it says they transforming themselves into apostles of Christ. But Christ, he always taught against the government. He always talked about the downfall of whatever captivity we was in. Talked about the children of Israel, and now how we would get our own land one day. You don't see the preachers talking about that today. Read on.
And don't marvel, for Satan himself is transformed into an angel of light.
And say that don't marvel at that. It's nothing new. Satan always trying to disguise himself to make it seem like he's doing something good. Give me the next scripture. Go to Matthew 24. See, I'm going to show you what Christ was teaching. And it's completely contrary to what you hear in the Sunday church. You're not hearing about how the world is going to be destroyed and how all the sinners are going to go along with it. You don't hear about that. You don't hear about that the so-called Latinos, the blacks, Native Americans, your true nationality is an Israelite, God's chosen people. They're not telling you that. But let's hear the words of Christ. Go ahead.
Matthew 24 verse 7. For nation shall rise against nation.
You see, it says nation shall rise against nation. That means nationality against nationality. You see what happened over there in Anaheim with the KKK? How you got our brothers and sisters coming back together to stand up against this evil? That's on a small scale. Wait till you're gonna be able to walk outside your house and see that on a broad scale. That's why it said the revolution is not gonna be televised. Because you gonna walk right outside your home and see it happening. Go ahead.
And kingdom against kingdom.
And kingdom against kingdom. You have countries against country. I know you're seeing the tension that's building up between China, Russia, and the United States. Go ahead.
And there shall be famines and pestilence and earthquakes in diverse places.
All these earthquakes going on, it says famines. We don't get rain like that. So let me ask you, what's growing naturally? Pestilences, all this sickness that's going around. Zika virus, got the babies growing with abnormally large heads. STDs, things like HIV and AIDS. That's what it's talking about. Super lice. This is what Christ was prophesying, and we see it coming today, right now. Go ahead.
Then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted and shall kill you. And ye shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake.
You see, the true prophets of Christ, he said you're going to be hated of everybody for teaching his word, his truth. Because guess what? We're not out here saying that everybody's the same. It's just one human race. No, we're not out here saying that at all. We saying you, so-called black man, Latino man, you're better than everybody on this earth.
That's right.
That's what we out here saying. We saying that when you stand up and submit yourself to God's laws, statutes, and commandments, that God is going to destroy America and that he's going to put us in our own land. That's what we out here teaching. And that's what Christ and the apostles was teaching. Go ahead.
And then shall many be offended and shall betray one another.
It said many going to be offended at this gospel, the true gospel. Go ahead.
And shall hate one another. And many false prophets shall rise and shall deceive many.
And that's where you at today. You got many false prophets. Yo, Christian pastors, they say they for Christ, but they really not, because they're not teaching our people the truth. I'm not going to come out here and lie to you. I don't like wasting my time. So I'm out here in truth and sincerity. Let my people know who we are and what we got to do as a people. You're not getting that from your pastors, though. Give me Leviticus 20 and 13. Your pastor, he going to allow homosexuals, lesbians. He going to let all that go on in his church. You think Christ going to let that happen? No way in hell would he let that happen. Read that, huh?
Leviticus 20 and 13. If a man also lie with mankind as he lies with womankind.
So the Bible is saying, if you have a man and he decides to lay down with another man as he should be doing with a woman, doing intimate things, go ahead.
As he lies with womankind, both of them have committed an abomination.
It said, bro, you just made yourself abominable in the eyes of God. And that's why I ask you, where do you think America is headed? When you tell a man that it's okay to have sex with another man, now you are about to, you're committing genocide. You're trying to destroy a nation. Two men can't reproduce. And you know it's being pushed on a broad scale to so-called blacks and Latinos. And you know what? We take it and run with it. Nobody acts more like a woman than a so-called effeminate black or Latino man. And it's disgusting. Go ahead.
They shall surely be put to death.
And the judgment for that is you're going to be put to death. America's no different. They pushing it. They're advocates of it. So America got to be put to death. All right? Give me Romans 1:25. Because a lot of people, they'll say, well, that's the Old Testament, brother. I can show you in the New Testament where it's still talked against. Still condemned. It's never been okay. God does not approve of it. Therefore, you should not approve of it. Go ahead.
Romans 1 and 25. Who changed the truth of God into a lie?
So who changed the truth of God into a lie? Who out here teaching you that you can be with another man and it's okay? Who's out here teaching you that you can go out and commit fornication and adultery and it's okay? Our enemies doing that. Go ahead.
And worship and serve the creature more than the creator, who is blessed forever. Amen.
Yep.
For this cause, God gave them up to vile affections.
It said God gave our people over to vile affections. They went out. It says God gave our people over to vile affections. You look up the word vile, look up what it means. It's disgusting, not natural, no need for it. Anyways, we're gonna get back to this lesson. So before we was interrupted by the malfunction in our electrical, I was talking about America and how that this place is actually gonna be destroyed according to the Bible because of its wickedness and how it doesn't want to change from its wickedness. So go back to that Romans 1:25. Let's take that from the top. You don't have to hold the button.
Romans 1 and 25. Who changed the truth of God into a lie and worship and serve the creature more than the creator, who is blessed forever. Amen. For this cause, God gave them up to vile affection. For even their women did change their natural use, that which is against nature.
You see, it says even our women. You go to social media, you see a lot of our women, they into that bisexual lifestyle. It says God gave you up to vile affections because now you're going against nature. It's in a woman's proper nature to get with a man so that they can reproduce and bring seed upon the earth. Not no more. America teaches you that it's sexy for a woman to lay down with another woman. And our men, you just as foul because you uplift it. You say you like it too. I want to have a threesome with my chick. And that's why I say America's got to be destroyed, because it teaches nothing but wickedness.
And our people see it, but they caught up in the moment. They like it. Go ahead.
And likewise also, the men leaving the natural use of the woman.
And now the men, you can put on this side up. And now the men, they leaving their natural use of the woman to now lay down with another man. You got two strong buff jakes hugging and kissing on each other. That don't even seem right. That don't seem right at all. But leave it up to America. They said that's okay, that's the way to go. That's the American dream, be free. Land of the free, home of the braves. Go ahead.
Burned in their lust one toward another.
They said now you burning in your lust. Go ahead.
Men with men, working that which is unseemly.
It says men with men, working that which is unseemly, meaning it doesn't even make sense why they're doing that. It's not good. So even in the New Testament, homosexuality is still preached against. Never uplifted and never for. Go ahead.
And receiving in themselves the recompense of their error.
And now, what they say, you reap what you sow. And now you got men, STDs, passing it on to the women because they live in bisexual lifestyles. That's where we at. That's where we at. Give me Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 14, verse 24. And the Bible, it puts you up on game. It says all you have to do is look. Just observe what you live in. This is not the righteous way. This is not the way God intended us to live. Go ahead.
Wisdom of Solomon 14 verse 24. They kept neither lives nor marriages any longer undefiled, but either one slew another.
See, our people now, they don't keep nothing sacred no more. Now, women who marry, they just going out laying with other men. It don't matter. Men doing the same thing, going out committing fornication. They don't keep nothing sacred. Go ahead.
Treacherously agreed with him by adultery.
Now we treacherously dealing with our brothers and sisters, committing adultery with one another, a sin punishable by death. Go ahead.
So that there reign in all men without exception blood, manslaughter, theft, and dissimulation.
Don't you see that? Manslaughter. Our brothers out here killing other brothers over colors, over streets that they don't own. Dissimulation, the hate that's bred between one another for no reason. Envyings. Theft. That's all that people talk about is coming up. Trying to flock some houses. Stealing cars, stealing rims. Stealing drugs. I mean, come on, man. Read on.
Corruption, unfaithfulness.
Corruption and unfaithfulness. We not faithful to one another, so I for sure know you're not faithful to the Most High. Go ahead.
Tumults, perjury, disquieting of good men, forgetfulness of good turns, defiling of souls, changing of kind.
It says defiling of souls and changing of kind. Don't you see men out here going to get surgery to now have a vagina? Women getting their parts cut off to become a man, taking all type of pills, hormones. It says they changing of kind. It's wicked, y'all. We gotta stop this. There's more?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Disorder in marriage.
Disorder in marriage. You got the woman mouthing off at her husband, saying, oh, you no good nigga, and blah, blah, blah. What type of order is that? The Most High God set up a perfect order. He said it's the Most High, Christ, men, women, children. That is the perfect order. Not no more. Not no more. You got the man taking on the woman's role and vice versa. You got the man laying up on the couch all day and the woman going out bringing back the bread. That's what America teaches though. What I'm trying to say is everything the Bible stands up for, America is against. They tell you everything contrary and backwards. And our people run with it and they love it.
And I know a lot of y'all feel me on that. Brothers dealing with our so-called black sisters. That's why you go and get with another nation, because you know what? They nation be in order. They women not gonna mount off. They not gonna fight you when you come home. But our men, that's the main reason why they say, I don't want no black woman. They loud, they ignorant, they rude, they ghetto, they hood. These are the stereotypes that we need to break. And it's easy. All we got to do is follow God's laws. Okay? Give me Wisdom of Solomon 6. Hey, go ahead and finish that. My bad.
Adultery and shameless, uncleanness.
Shamelessness and uncleanness. Our people just walking around filthy on all levels. Their minds polluted. Their soul polluted. They eating unclean things like bacon. I'm talking about pork bacon. You know, America love to put bacon in everything. When God said don't eat the bacon. That pig is not to be eaten. It's unclean. Get that real quick. Leviticus 11. You see, God, you ask, how was Adam able to live 900 years or however long he lived? That's because he had a perfect diet going on. He wasn't eating foods that was causing him cancer. He wasn't smoking weed, smoking tobacco, smoking cigarettes. He wasn't getting drunk for polluting his body with all that liquor. Read that, huh?
Leviticus 11 and verse 7. The swine.
The swine, talking about the pig.
Though he divided the hoof and be cloven-footed, yet he cheweth not the cud. He is unclean to you. Of their flesh shall ye not eat.
God said, of their flesh you do not eat. Any Christian out here that's saying it doesn't matter what you eat, listen to what God just said. One more time. Go ahead.
Of their flesh ye shall not eat.
Of what animal is he talking about?
And the swine.
The swine. God said, you Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, you do not eat that swine. That is unclean to you. And that's not it. You got animals, you got fish in the sea that you can't eat. If it doesn't have scales and fins, you cannot eat it. So no more going to red lobster, getting that crab, getting that shrimp scampi, butterfly shrimp, none of that no more. All right? Give me Wisdom of Solomon 16:16. Read that, go ahead.
Wisdom of Solomon 16 verse 16. The ungodly that deny to know thee were scored by the strength of thine arm.
And that's why you see the Most High God, he's starting to judge the earth. It says all the ungodly were scourged by the Most High's strength. Scourge means punished. The Most High God, he's going to start delivering his judgment on this earth very swift. You're going to start seeing these uprisings. A lot of blacks and Latinos get put to death because you know what? They don't want to repent. You're going to see tornadoes, big earthquakes, just eat people up. And then you're going to turn and say, wow, them brothers on the corners, they weren't lying. Go ahead.
By the strength of thine arm, with strange rain, hail, and showers, when they persecuted that they could not avoid, and through fire were they consumed.
So he's going to start altering the weather to show judgment upon his people. You look at Hurricane Katrina. New Orleans is known for all that wickedness they do down there, that witchcraft. And what'd he do? He destroyed it. That's coming to California too, because this is a hub of wickedness. Los Angeles, Hollywood, it is a hub of wickedness. Give me chapter 12, verse 17 now. And that's all we are here to do is warn our people. That's all we was instructed to do. He said, go out and tell your people. He said, America, I'm going to destroy that. Therefore, I need you to tell your people, don't get caught up in this place. Don't get caught up in the paper chase. Tell them they need to get caught up in my laws, statutes, and commandments. Make themselves righteous so that when I return, they're ready and I can receive them. Go ahead.
Wisdom of Solomon 12 verse 17. For when men will not believe that thou art full of power.
So you got people, they say, man, that bootleg God you believe in, he ain't nothing. He don't exist. Go ahead.
Thou showest thy strength.
And that's when he shows his strength. He starts executing his judgments. That's how the Most High God rolls. Go ahead.
Among them that know it, thou makest their boldness manifest. But thou masterest thy power, judgest with iniquity.
And he says he judges iniquity. The Most High God is not an advocate of sin. He said, don't do it. I don't want that nowhere before me. So if you caught up in sin, how is he going to receive you? If he is a God of righteousness, how is he going to accept somebody who's full of sin and iniquity? It doesn't work like that. And that's what we have today. Our people, we comfortable living in sin. Give me Ecclesiastes 5:4. Our people comfortable living in sin. I mean, seriously. I worked at Target, right? And my employee I work with, her dad's a Christian. And I said, is it a possibility that your dad is not telling you the whole truth according to the Bible? She said, what you mean? I said, what's your diet like? I said, you eat pork, crab, or anything like that? She said, yeah, all the time. I said, according to God's laws, you're not supposed to eat that. She told me, I can still eat some pork and get into heaven. She really told me that. Well, read this, go ahead.
Ecclesiasticus 5 and verse 4. Say not, I have sinned, and what harm has happened unto me?
And that's what she was saying. She said, I be breaking God's laws, but so what? I can still get the kingdom. Nothing bad's gonna happen to me. Go ahead.
For the Lord is long-suffering.
God is long-suffering. He will let you live out your sinful life just to judge you with hellfire at the end. Go ahead.
He will in no wise let me go.
He's not letting you go. For all y'all caught up in sin, God said he is long-suffering. He ain't got to get you today, man. Just keep living that life, though. When it's all time for Judgment Day, and those books are open, and he said, what have you done righteous? And you can't attest to nothing, he gonna say, get in line for that lake of fire. You're done. Go ahead.
Concerning propitiation, be not without fear to add sin unto sin.
We should be scared to add sin to sin, but not our people. Yeah, our people, the Bible says you should be fearful for your life. You should never get to the point where you just saying, I'm sinning today for the sin tomorrow. You hear it in songs though. Ray Swimmer said, I'm sinning every night. Our people love listening to that though. And they take on that same spirit. You tell them, hey brother, sister, you sinning. What they say? It don't matter, brother. You can't judge me. Only God can judge. I tell them that's what you should be afraid of. They don't listen though. Was that all? That was all? Yeah, go to 6. Go ahead.
And say not, his mercy is great.
And they love to say that. We under mercy now, brother. We under grace. Go ahead.
He will be pacified for the multitude of my sins.
People say, man, he's not going to trip about me eating this pork, brother. He's not going to trip about me committing this adultery and fornication because we under grace. Give me Romans 3. Oh, finish that. Go ahead.
For mercy and wrath come from him, and his indignation rested upon sinners.
God said his hate, his strong hate rested upon sinners. There's no way you're getting away from the Most High God's judgments. Now give me that Romans. Let's deal with this grace. You think America's under grace from God? Was Sodom and Gomorrah under grace? They got destroyed. For the same things America promotes. Fornication and idolatry. Romans 3 and 31. Yeah.
Romans 3 and 31. Do we then make void the law through faith?
So just because we have faith in God, does now the law mean nothing no more? Go ahead.
God forbid.
God forbid. You cannot get away from God's laws. That grace, that's only activated once you finally make the conscious decision to start keeping his laws. He's giving you the time to make it right. He's not saying live your life of sin and then it's okay. Then what was the purpose of Christ dying? You telling me Christ died so that I can sin? What type of sense does that make, y'all? None whatsoever. Give me 2 Timothy chapter 3 verse 1. That's the days we living in though. So when God's saying this hatred resteth upon sinners, America is known for nothing but sin. How much longer do you think this place has to live? Can you see, hey sir right here, can you see America standing another 50 years? Can you see America still standing in power in another 50 years? That's hard to believe, right? I mean, shoot, they already said 2 men can get together and not procreate life. What's next? Now they're going to say, you know what? If you want to have sex with an animal, go ahead. It don't matter. They already have. Go figure. But our people, we love this place. Proud Americans. Huck your horn if you're a proud American. You're foolish. You are foolish. Go ahead and read that.
2 Timothy 3 and verse 1. This know also that in the last days perilous times shall come.
So now we dealing with the last days. He said perilous times shall come. Go ahead.
For men shall be lovers of their own selves.
You got men caught up in taking selfies. Go ahead.
covetous, boasters, proud.
It said they covetous, boisterous, proud, selfish, in other words, is what it's saying. Our people only to worry about how they can get a gain, how they can get ahead. Not worried about nobody else, not worried about their brothers. Go ahead.
Blasphemers, disobedient to parents.
Blasphemers. You got people that come over here and spit on the Bible and say, God ain't nobody to me. And they go home and disrespect their parents. Go ahead.
Unthankful, unholy.
Unthankful and unholy. The children of Israel, blacks, Latinos, Native Americans, we are a holy people unto God. He said, I need you to separate yourselves. Make a distinctive difference between you and all those heathens that I hate. But we don't do that no more. How so? Because our men, we love running up in these white women. We love running up in these Asian women. Sister Sue, you love getting that white boy. The blue eyes, now blonde hair, which is a curse according to the Bible. Go ahead.
Without natural affection, truth breakers, false accusers, incontent, fierce, despisers of those that are good.
And man, our people hate people that are good. We out here teaching the Bible. We got people hissing and turning their windows up. I mean, their music up and rolling their windows up, talking about them niggas crazy. Out there talking that foolishness. Why? Because we're not talking about how you can go live your life freely without being punished for it. Go ahead.
Traitors.
Traitors, go ahead.
Heady, high-minded, lovers of pleasure more than lovers of God.
It said our people love pleasure more than they love God. That's why Saturday night, they out there clubbing, probably having threesomes, but they up in that church the next morning talking about God forgive me. And that's the only time you hear God come out their mouth. And then on top of that, they not even supposed to be going to church on Sunday. Gets the word Sunday. Once again, going into the idolatry. Our people is all out of whack, man. Go ahead.
Having a form of godliness, but denying the power thereof.
So our people, man, we don't want to get with this. They say, yeah, that Bible, it got some truth in it, but man, brother, it's just not for me. I'm living my life. I got to get it how I live. That's what our people are caught up in these days, man. Go to Isaiah chapter 8. It's one of my favorite scriptures because it describes my people perfectly. When I go out to the street, I always say what's up to my brothers. Call them king. See my sisters, what up, queen? Man, our people are destroyed. I think it's 8-3. It says my people are destroyed. That's 8-3? Don't worry about it. You can get that too. It was there 4-6. Let me show you what the Bible says about my people. So-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. The Bible says that we are destroyed. But it tells us why we destroyed though. You got that? Go ahead.
Hosea 4:6. My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge.
It says my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. We reject the Bible. We reject God's righteousness and his laws. We don't want to hear it. For what purpose though? That is beyond me. I didn't read the Bible when I was younger. But when I actually did start to read it, I saw that this book was awesome and that no other book can compare with it. I saw that how God chose a certain people to be special unto himself, above everybody else on the face of this earth. And then you know what I did? I went outside to see my brothers and sisters out there on that basketball court. All that natural talent they possess. I turn on the TV. I'm watching sports. You're looking for the blacks and Latinos to come on. You're not looking for no whites or no Asians to play. My people is the best people on the face of this earth, but we don't see that. Go ahead.
Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee. Thou shalt be no priest to me. Seeing thou hast forgotten the law of the Lord thy God, I will also forget thy children.
And that's what we had today. Most I said, he's going to forget our children because we despise his laws. Give me 2 Timothy 3:7. We despise God's knowledge to go to Stanford and go to USC to get that knowledge, that foolishness. The stuff that's only going to help you physically, but not so much spiritually, just physically. Go ahead.
2 Timothy 3:7. Ever learning and never able to come to the knowledge of the truth.
You see, our people, they always want to dibble and dabble in some different understandings. They want to read the book of Enoch. They want to read the Egyptian book of the dead. But they never come into the truth of God, which is so simple. He said, just keep my commandments and you're going to get the kingdom of heaven. Everlasting rulership. Give me Obadiah 1 and 4. And this is the main thing about your teaching. Our people, you got to wake up. Sister right here at the bus stop, you got to understand that America's going to be destroyed. And if you caught up in the ways of America, you're going along with it. Go ahead and read that.
Obadiah verse 4. Thou exalt thyself as the eagle.
So God is talking about America right now. He said, though you exalt thyself as the eagle, isn't that America's symbol, the bald eagle? Right? Go ahead.
And thou set thy nest among the stars.
And he said, though you like the big high-rise buildings, you're trying to build an international space station, what did God say he's going to do to you? Go ahead.
This will I bring thee down.
God said he's bringing you down, America. America's going to be destroyed. I need my people to understand that. This is not our resting place. Read that again,
I will bring thee down, saith the Lord.
Saith the Lord. The Most High God is not going to have any type of mercy when judging America. And with that, I say, wake up.